In a world where the line between reality and fantasy fades away, where silence carries a secret, and every whisper tells a story. Welcome to The Whisper of the Narrator. Here, tales are not just told, they are lived. Souls are reborn through words of mystery and magic, where fear, passion, and destiny intertwine. Every story you hear here will awaken something within you. So listen closely. The whisper begins now. Are you ready to listen? Chapter 9. The only one who forgives is God. I don't. The match was about to start. On one side was a pale man with bright blue eyes and dark black hair. He was wearing a red and white uniform with the number 69. It was a standard basketball player's uniform. While this man warmed up, women couldn't help but stare at the defined muscles of that man with a little lust in their eyes. Catching the girl's eyes, Victor looked around and thought, "When did this become a show? Well, let's have fun." Victor displayed a toothy grin, but unlike before, those teeth weren't changing into shark-like teeth. It was just a normal smile that showed all of his white teeth. Suddenly, Victor looks towards the bleachers. He could feel something in the bleachers calling to him, but he couldn't identify what it was. "What are you doing, Lady Ruby?" Corneliu asked Ruby, confused when he saw her suddenly duck. "I am just picking up something that fell," Ruby replied neutrally as she wondered. "Why did I hide? Why did I hide? You fool!" Losing interest, Victor focused on his opponent. A tall man with brown hair and brown eyes. He looked like a delinquent. He was the man who made Victor's life hell for a year. The two men had unresolved issues, and Victor wasn't planning on leaving the waters of times to wash away his grudge. He's not such a saint that he could forgive this man easily. He's a vindictive man. As the saying goes, an eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth, blood for blood. Luan just looked at Victor with a cocky smile, but he couldn't help but think about the things he did to Victor. Seeing how it came back to bite his ass in the future, he was wondering if the attitude he had in the past was right. "I think I should have killed him when I had the chance. After all, at the time, his blood smelled really good," he thought contemptuously. But despite thinking about it, he knew he couldn't kill someone. He wasn't prepared to take this step forward. For Luan, his master's blood is enough. When the judge throws the ball up, Luan, who was close to Victor, whispered in a low voice, "Don't use your gifts." Victor snorted disdainfully and said in a low voice, "Tell that to yourself." The two jumped at the same time, then hit the ball simultaneously. An intense exchange took place for a few seconds in the air. But soon the winner was decided. Victor throws the ball to the ground, and it bounces in his favor. When he fell to the ground, the noise was very loud. It was like a very heavy man fell on the court. But strangely, the ground did not break. The moment Victor falls to the ground, he runs at human speed towards the basketball. And as he catches the basketball in his hands, he turns and sees that Luan is already beside him. Victor smiles and starts dribbling the ball. He makes some gestures with his hands to try to trick the opponent. But Luan is an experienced captain. He wouldn't fall into that trap, and Victor knew that. Suddenly, Victor brings the ball to Luan's face and drops the ball to the ground. In making this sudden action, Luan's attention was completely focused on the ball slowly falling to the ground. But before the ball could land on the ground, a pale hand suddenly appeared and caught the ball. My God, did he fake out the team captain? Wow, I can't believe he fell for such a simple trick. Someone from the stand spoke up. When Luan hears this, he grits his teeth in frustration and turns to chase after Victor. Victor runs while dribbling the ball to the middle of the court, and when he entered the circle of the court, he suddenly jumped. Everyone just stared in shock as they watched a human jump from the middle of the court and slowly reach the basketball hoop and bury the ball. Oh! The crowd roared excitedly. That was a slam dunk! I can't believe I'm seeing a 21-year-old boy dunking. Damn, that was amazing! How is that possible? Is this humanly possible? Hey, what's his name? Victor, who was hanging from the rim of the basketball hoop, slowly broke free and fell to the ground. When he fell to the ground and turned around, he looked at Luan and saw that the man's expression was distorted with hate. It was too ugly to look at. But that expression filled Victor with satisfaction. Slowly, a predatory smile began to form on his face. Humph. This newborn thinks highly of himself. Any vampire can do what he did. Ruby just looked at the blonde man like she was watching a rare creature. He totally forgot he was in a crowd of people. Huh? Ruby looks at the girl who was next to her, and for a moment, her eyes turn blood red. Ignore everything that man says, okay? Okay, the woman replied in a robotic tone. Ruby nods contentedly. Her eyes soon turn green. Then she looks at Corneliu and says, "He's not using his gifts." Huh? Corneliu looks at Ruby. If he was using his gifts, the basketball court, the basketball hoop, and everything else would be destroyed. He's just using the ability of a trained human. It's quite impressive that he can control his strength so well, and I think he doesn't even realize what he's doing. Ruby compliments him, but Corneliu just snorted in disdain. All newborn vampires can do that. He's no big deal. He spoke in a normal voice. Oh, can you tell me which newborn vampires can do this? I'm curious. Ruby's green eyes sparkled a little in curiosity. Corneliu was silent and ignored Ruby. Idiot. That's why female vampires hate you. Your ego is the size of the world, but it's also very fragile. You look like a child. Ruby thought with disdain. What about the agreement not to use your gifts? Luan asked in a hateful voice. I'm not using my gifts. I don't need to do something like that to defeat you. Victor spoke in disdain while maintaining an arrogant smile. Luan's face twists into hate. We'll see if you don't need to use your powers, he said in a hateful tone. He seems to have totally forgotten what he said a few seconds ago. Again, both opponents were in the middle of the court, The referee throws the ball up and blows the whistle. The two opponents jump towards the ball, and again they fight in midair for a few seconds. But this time, Victor loses. Luan falls to the ground and catches the ball. He turns around and is about to run towards Victor's basket, but is stopped by Victor standing in front of him. Luan starts dribbling the ball, and Victor tries to steal it, but Luan defends. It looks like the team captain has the advantage now. Of course, he wouldn't lose to a beginner. One of the captain's most fanatical fans spoke. Luan and Victor start running on the court. One was trying to make a basket, and the other was trying to steal the ball. Getting irritated by the impasse, Luan tries to push Victor using his vampire strength. But Victor doesn't move. Crack. Oh! What was that loud noise? Are they okay? I think I heard a bone breaking, someone near the court yelled. You're right. I heard a cracking sound like something had broken. A man standing next to him spoke. The audience was right. A bone broke, and it wasn't Victor's. Huh? Why are you wearing that pained expression? Will you cry? Just what are you made of? Luan asked in shock as he felt his ribs healing. He tried to take down Victor, but it felt like he was trying to bring down a mountain. Victor patted his chest and said, I'm just built different. Luan huffed. He suddenly pulled away from Victor. Is he trying to do a long shot? Is he crazy? He's not even in the middle of the court yet. Even if he's the captain, that is impossible for him to do, right? He's crazy. He really threw the ball. Fool, Luan said. Victor looked at the ball in the air and started running towards the basket he was protecting. Arriving at the basket, he just waits patiently for the ball to come down. If the ball enters the basket, bad luck for him. But if Luan misses, he is prepared for a counterattack. The entire crowd just watches anxiously as they wait for the ball to drop. Yes, the ball hit the hoop. He missed. Someone from the crowd shouted. Looks like the goddess of luck is not favoring you today. Victor takes the ball and looks at Luan, who was running towards him. As he looked at Luan, he thinks, the goddess of luck is a bitch. One time she pays attention to you, but eventually she loses interest and looks at someone else. So I don't need her. Victor positions himself to throw the ball. Don't tell me, will he try to throw the ball from the end of the court? He's crazy. That's impossible. He's definitely not going to make that. Realizing what Victor is going to do, Luan increases his running speed, with only seconds left before he gets in front of Victor. Too slow, Victor said. Suddenly, Victor changes position and holds the ball with one hand. Then he throws the ball. As soon as he threw the ball, Victor started running at high speed. Huh? What is he planning? Ba-bam! A thunderous noise was heard on the court. Everyone looked stunned and saw that the ball hit the panel above the basketball hoop and bounced. Do not tell me. Was that his plan? Ha 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 ha! Victor chuckled with a manic smile on his face that showed all of his teeth. Suddenly, Victor jumps up, then catches the ball in the air and buries it in the basket. Oh, this man is insane. Is he really human? How did he run from the end of a court and still manage to catch the ball in midair? Fool! He planned it, and you didn't see he ran before he threw the ball. If we calculate right, this feat is possible to do. It's just extremely difficult. A man with black glasses spoke as he lifted his glasses. For some reason, the people standing nearby could see the man's glasses glowing. Victor lets go of the basket's hoop and falls to the ground. Then he looks at Luan with the same smile that shows all of his teeth. Is this all you can do? He teased him again. Luan's expression starts to distort again. His expression was something to behold. He was extremely angry. Who does this newborn think he is? He comes to my territory and challenges me? Who does he think he is? He's just trash. I do not accept this. Seeing Luan's expression constantly changing, Victor just smiled, then smiled even more. He looked like a child who found a fun toy to break. Oh, right, Luan spoke in a smug tone, as if he realized something. I think I shouldn't hold back anymore. Victor stops smiling and looks at Luan. Noticing that his atmosphere has changed, he says in disdain, And what happened to the agreement not to use powers? You've been using your powers from the start. Don't expect me to follow that rule. Tisk, tisk. It looks like your brain is smaller than a dog. Actually saying you have a dog's brain is very offensive for the dog itself. After all, at least dogs are loyal, Victor said while pointing to a local. Luan followed Victor's finger, and the moment Luan saw a man with blonde hair and green eyes standing in the stands, he froze. Corneliu made a gesture with his mouth, and Luan seemed to understand what Corneliu had said. Looks like the dog found its owner. Victor flashed a sneer. And? What will you do? Victor asked as he smiled again. Are you going to obey your owner, or are you going to continue? Decide. How good a dog are you? Make up your own mind. Choose. His smile grew with every word he spoke. He wanted Luan to continue. He wanted Luan to show that he wasn't a dog and challenge him. Seeing the gestures his master was making, Luan bites his lip and says, I give up. He spoke out loud. His voice seemed to be heard across the court, and everyone was looking at the basketball team captain in shock. Suddenly, Victor's smile died and he lost interest. Is that it? In the end, you're just a dog. Referee, you heard him, right? The captain dropped out. The show is over, Victor said as he took off his shirt and threw it somewhere. Victor didn't wait for the referee to say something. He had lost interest, and he also fulfilled 2 of his goals. He humiliated Luan in front of the whole school. He fought so hard to be accepted in, and found out who was behind him. For now, that's enough. When the women saw Victor's body, they started talking to each other. My God, look at his body. He is so hot. Does he have a girlfriend? Actually, who is he? A woman asked, confused. Victor flashed a sneer. He looked at the women in the stands and thought, I'm married, witches. He didn't even set eyes on these women. Ruby, who hid again when she noticed that Victor turned to the bleachers, got up and looked at Victor, who was leaving. Why do I keep hiding? Not even she knew why she was acting like this. She was just too embarrassed. Ruby then looks at Corneliu and sees the kind of face he was making. Yes, he will definitely attack Victor. I have to tell Violet. Actually, I think I should just tell him myself, but I'm embarrassed. I can't go out there and say, "Hey, Victor, I'm your wife. Good morning." Just thinking about it makes me feel ashamed. Yes, I will definitely contact Violet. Maybe I will contact him myself? Ah, my head. Even though Ruby was going through a mental breakdown, her face didn't change. She still had an expressionless face as she watched Victor walk off the court. And so, the whisper fades. But the story never truly ends. Each tale hides within it a new beginning. Perhaps even another life waiting to be told. You've been listening to The Whisper of the Narrator. If this journey touched your soul, don't let it end here. Subscribe, stay, and listen again. For the next whisper will be deeper, darker, and more beautiful.